Hello, good evening, and welcome to Joy News Prime. We are coming to you live from our studios here at Kukum Limne in Accra. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. I am Carlos Caloni.
And I am Faustina Safo. Tonight, government deploys special task force to track down Ablekuma North election rerun thugs as police sift through footages to identify and arrest perpetrators.
Also, minority and majority MPs clash on the state of economy as NDC MPs insist the current gains are due to the strategic decisions taken by John Dramani Mahama's administration.
Also tonight, MPP's parliamentary candidate for Ablekuma North apologizes to party leadership after defying a directive not to contest the constituency's rerun. Meanwhile, the party says its delegates conference will go ahead on July 19 despite internal calls for postponement.
Unpay 2 years rent or stay homeless. That's the harsh choice many low-income workers in Ghana are facing as more begin to stay in kiosk. More in our latest series, Habitat series. Remember, we are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism.
It's a good time to take a seat and please be our guest.
Now, government has vowed to hunt down and apprehend perpetrators of violence at the just-ended rerun of the Ablekuma North parliamentary election. More than 5 individuals were assaulted, including 2 journalists, at the hands of masked men as sport of violence marred the election. Now, Interior Minister Muntaka Mohammed at a news conference earlier said a special team has been deployed to the scene and is already reviewing videotapes to unmask and track down the culprit. We'll hear from him shortly. First, here's a recap of all the chaos at the election.
One of parliamentary elections in the orphan Ablekuma North constituency was anything but calm. What was expected to be a peaceful electoral process quickly descended into chaos. Violence marred the exercise from the onset. Former Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, Hawa Kumsin, was assaulted by thugs at the Methodist Church, Odoko 1 polling center.
Yes. Now, how Kumsin is on the floor? That is what is happening here right now. That is what you can see inside. You can get a closer look. The doors are locked, but that is what you can see here.
Shortly after, deputy organizer of the MPP, Chris Asamoah, was also physically assaulted. Journalists were not spared. A Joy News reporter was assaulted in line of duty. A reporter from GH1 TV was also attacked, while another from ATV was left gasping for air after pepper spray filled the polling area. Despite the tension, the Electoral Commission insists the rerun was necessary to uphold electoral integrity. But for residents of Ablekuma North, the day left more questions than answers about the state of democracy.
We can now hear from the Interior Minister, Muntaka Mohammed Barak, who says all those responsible will not be spared.
Condemn this in no uncertain terms. I mean, that's, for me, it's a scar on all of us conscience. I've already instructed the IGP, and the IGP is sitting here. He will show you. If you could even come to my phone, you'll see. That same day, I forwarded all the videos that I had, and I asked IG, what are you doing about it? I said, look, we have to review the cameras. We have to look at it from all the angles. He has sent the, what do you call it, the crime scene guys there. The ICT guys are all working to make sure that we get it. But remember, that officer is somebody that we know. because he has a number, he has a name, we know where he is, we know where we station him, we can easily go after him. But these are guys who commit this sin and they vanish from the system. But we have to, it take time to track them. But assurance is that we are not going to allow this to go unpunished. Unless they flee the country. So long as they are around, they should be rest assured. They will have to, the law will have to take its course.
Well, with the upcoming Equatorial by-election and fears that this may be more violent, the Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak assured that lessons have been learned and that security will be more robust.
Well, the interesting thing is that I'm sure this is also a wake-up call for our security agencies to know that if maybe probably what happened could, maybe you could say that it was not an organized thing, it was a spontaneous thing. Whether it was organized, whether it was spontaneous, this gives our security agencies the opportunity to even plan better towards Akotia. All I can assure the people of Akotia is that we will use Ablekuma North as a case study to review our operational, how we operate in Akotia, to make sure that the citizens are free to cast their vote and express their will.
The Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, says it identified some, quote, serious lapses in security in the Ablekuma North rerun. In a statement, the group condemned the acts of violence, but said the posture of some police officers were worrying. My colleague Kenneth Jesse joins me in the studio with a copy of that statement. Kenneth, what specifically are their concerns?
Well, exactly, Faustina. So they say, and I quote, the security lapses observed during this election rerun and in spite of the heavy deployment of security personnel raises serious concerns about the state of the Ghana Police Service. And they continue to say that given the high-stakes nature of this exercise in a densely populated area, it was shocking that unauthorized persons who looked like two-party vigilantes were allowed to roam in around vehicles, or salmon licensed, and enter polling station areas without any interception. Now, it goes on to say that groups of individuals were also allowed to mass up, creating an intimidating atmosphere for poll workers, voters, and the general citizenry. The most worrying observation was the action of police officers guarding the gate of the St. Peter's Society polling station in Odoko, who basically stepped aside as thugs forced their way into the polling station to assault agents and to politicians. It continues to say that the posture of the police was observed during the 2024 elections and transition. The emasculation of the police service is a clear and present danger that must be fully addressed by all stakeholders.
Or can they have some demands? What exactly are they?
CODEO has called on President John Dramani Mahama and the Police Council under the Article 2022 of the Constitution to, quote, exercise its powers of control and direction of the Inspector General of Police to institute an inquiry into the recent action of police officers in the handling of police duties involving political actors. It continues to say that this must be done urgently to ensure clear remedial actions are taken ahead of the by-election in Akwatia. It concludes by saying that they are calling on all stakeholders, particularly political actors, security agencies, the Electoral Commission and the judiciary, to reflect on these developments, implement the necessary reforms, and take decisive action to address the problem of election violence, political vigilantism, and the independence of the Ghana Police Service.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Meanwhile, spokesperson for the Bawumia campaign team, Miracles Ebwaji, who was commenting on the violence witnessed at Ablekuma North, says it is time for the NPP to have a special committee to ensure their members are protected.
Also, there had been 4 bloodsheds. In fact, Talensi, there was an instruction by the National Security to stop every vehicle and search. Everybody on this call recollect. At some point, they found guns and ammunition in the vehicle of the national chairman then. To date, nothing happened. The women organizer of the National Democratic Congress in Etiwa drove through a group of MPP supporters. Some are maimed and incapacitated till today. Nothing happened. Akwatia, Honorable Damboche's vehicle was shot into. His driver was hit. He was rushed to the hospital fighting for his life. Baba Jamal at that time Vehicles ran over people in Akwetia. Nothing was done about it. You see, it is as a result of some of these things that for whatever reason, some of the political parties at the time, after Etiwa, decided to begin to take the protection of their own people into their hands.
Jambuadu made this point.
We cannot run away from that fact. We can't. We can't pretend that is it. We cannot solve the problems if we don't go into these things. So if you recollect, something happened in Etiwa. Etiwa was the first time in the history of the MPP that we stood up for ourselves. And you recollect the famous Yachiro Mubibi Kitwebi. And then since Etiwa, the MPP began to protect ourselves. Let me tell you, as of 2019, that the anti-vigilantism law was passed. No political party had the kind of strength that the MPP had when it comes to what they did in Ablekuma North. No political party. We had the strength. We could do 3 times what they did in Ablekuma North as of 2019. But the president and the party then realized that that wasn't the way to go. Yes, we suffered it in 4 elections before we decided to own our own lives and our own protections. But they felt that it was time for us to put a stop to it.
AU High Representative for Silence the Guns, Eben Chambers, has called on the NDC and the NPP to train their youth against electoral violence and called on civil society organizations to intensify education against electoral violence.
Security agencies, especially the police, I know in the past they engage in that also. They call the youth, they sit down with them. I think the IG, should get his regional commander and others to organize meetings already in Akotia ahead of the meetings. The Minister of Interior is somebody that I know, and I know is completely opposed to this type of violence. I watched his vetting, and I recall him saying there that he completely condemns any acts of violence in our elections. And he even gave his own example in his constituency in Kumasi, where, how he and the then vice presidential candidate made efforts to calm down their youth. And consequently, you didn't hear of any violence there. And so I think he can step up here.
Now, security analyst Professor Prof Aning says it's time for a more radical approach to curb the rise in political vigilantism. He warns that failure to act now could embolden thugs to escalate their actions, possibly arming themselves and committing more dangerous offenses.
Vigilantism poses a potential existential threat to our democracy and eventually possibly to the state as a whole. When you listen to this young man from the Delta Force, he's accepted what they did, what they can do, and we've seen from the chaotic scenes what people are willing and prepared to do. But it's not these young men who are the problems. It is the enablers, the recruiters, the financiers, and those who provide political protection for them. From where I sit, until we find out the financiers, the enablers, and haul them before courts and give them 25 years or whatever the maximum sentence can be, this is only the beginning, because vigilantism transforms lives. It gives access to people in power. They get access to jobs, and those who are cast aside become extremely frustrated and are willing to sell their skills to the highest bidder. We are joking when we think that vigilantism is about these young men.
Well, let's explore this further and bring in Kofi Amankwa-Manu, his deputy ranking member for the Defense and Interior Committee and former Deputy Defense Minister. We appreciate your time here on Joy News Prime. I just want to get your brief reaction. We've been hearing from security analysts say that it's time for a radical approach to dealing with issues of vigilantism and thugs invading our elections. I'm wondering, from where you sit, is that the way to go?
Very much, and good evening to your listeners. But I think that it's becoming absurd for me when year in and year out we come out to say that it is time, there is never going to be the time. Because we had an opportunity to put an end to this with the passing of the Vigilante Act. For me, that act was passed, to move us away from the happenings of yesteryear. But the situation, obviously, is getting worse. For me, I am so disappointed in the police because they stood unconcerned when all these things were happening. And we've seen pictures of people who are bold enough to go out there to say that, yes, apart from Howard Kumsen, we never beat anybody, so Howard Kumsen was the target. For how long can we do this as a country? Year in and year out, when we're going to have elections, people begin. For me, some of these things, I saw them coming because I took part in the 2024 election in my own constituency, where we had an oven loaded with people coming to my constituency for whatever reasons I couldn't explain. And so for me, I saw these things coming. And we have sat for this thing to happen. This is 19 polling stations. We have a Kotia coming. So if I was said, and the police, that we have confidence and practice, the police that is supposed to protect the citizenry cannot do that. When that cannot happen, the citizenry will take the laws into their own hands. We have passed the Vigilante Act. It did not work. The worst has happened. What act again are we going to pass? How are we going to ask the police to be up and do it? Because they were there. If the police could not protect 19 polling stations, I wonder what they would do in a whole constituency.
But at the heart of this, really, are concerns that political parties keep sponsoring personal security when they should rely on state security. You could see in some of the footages that the police were really helpless.
This is the reason why I am saying that an act was passed. And when the act was passed, it was passed to move this country forward from the happenings of yesteryear. And so the understanding was that, yes, political parties were to put an end to that. But what do we see? What do we see? The fact is that if the police cannot protect me, I will protect myself. It is simple.
And that is what we are avoiding, especially when we see that, Akwetia, we have a by-election coming up. How do you propose the police can ensure the security of electorates coming out to exercise their franchise?
I don't have any way to provide anything as to what the police can do differently. I don't know, because I am telling you that 2024, December 2024, in my own constituency, I experienced a similar thing. It happened in Ablekuma North. What is the guarantee that the police is going to do anything different in Akwetia? I don't see.
Should we explore getting the military involved?
Well, Ghanaians are saying that the military are not part, but anytime the military gets involved, they get the job done. That is for me. Anytime they get involved, they get the job done. It appears nobody really is, for want of a better word, afraid of the police. I don't know why it is so. But for me, it is important. If we, at this time and age, cannot move away from electoral vigilantism, then I don't know where, as a country, we are going. I just don't know.
Thank you so much.
What is sad is that you have these people who committed this crime only going out to say that, yes, we came for an exercise. It was how I nobody.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kofi Amankwa-Manu, for joining us here on Johnny's Prime.
Well, MPP's 2024 parliamentary candidate for the Ablekuma North constituency, Nana Ekuafrie, says she has rendered an unqualified apology to the leadership of the New Patriotic Party. Now, this comes after she defied the party's directive not to take part in the rerun of the Ablekuma North parliamentary election. Although she declined to say whether she regrets disobeying the party's instructions, she explained that the apology was offered after the matter came up at the party's Emergency National Executive Committee meeting. Kenneth, Jesse has more.
After defying the MPP's order not to contest the Ablekuma North election rerun, Nana Akua-Afrie says she has formally apologized to the party during its emergency NEC meeting here at Alisa Hotel. The parliamentary candidate indicated that although she defied the party's orders, she is still a member of the New Patriotic Party and thus decided to apologize.
Oh, yes, yes. But then I think all boils down to apology, because that's my party and I'll keep being MPP. And so we all make mistakes. If your party says you shouldn't run, and I feel that the grassroots like me. But whatever it is, I think the matter is resolved, apology given, and we move on. Definitely that is what every human being would think. That is what every human being would think. And that is rightly so. But then at the end of the day, we see. We'll move on and see. Yes.
Chairman of the Planning Committee of the New Patriotic Party, Joseph Osei Owusu, says the party has accepted Nana Akua-Afrie's apology. Nana Akua just informed us that she apologized to the party. Was her apology taken?
It was taken in good faith, yes. It was taken in good faith. I mean, it was just to ensure that we respect the structures of the party in future.
Joseph Owusu maintained that the party will go ahead and hold its annual delegates conference on the 19th of July 2025 after facing some opposition from leading members of the party to postpone that particular event to a later date.
Well, there was a petition that the date for the conference should be changed. National Council, after considering it, decided that we should continue in view of the preparations we have made, commitments we have done. We should continue with the conference as already announced.
From Alisa Hotel, my name is Kenneth Jesse for Joy News.
Well, away from politics now to our Habitat series, Emilia Butchie searched endlessly for a single room close to where she works, hoping to find one that would take a year's rent up front. But every landlord demanded 2 years in advance. With nowhere she could afford, she had to build a wooden kiosk just to have a roof over her head. In this episode of Habitat series, Joy News' Jacqueline Asmayebwa exposes the harsh reality trapping thousands in Ghana's broken rental system.
He's going to increase the rent for no reason.
Emilia Butchie has been searching for a single room for the past 3 months. But every time, it ended the same way. Pay 2 years' rent up front or keep searching. She earns just 700 Ghana cedis a month, money she used to make working as a supermarket attendant. At that rate, saving even 1 year's rent felt impossible.
From 1,000 to 1,005 was 1 year. And then
Emilia searched and pleaded with several landlords to accept just a 1 year advance. But even that wasn't enough. She was still priced out. She was hoping to get a modest space for 450 Ghana cedis a month. But landlords she contacted were asking for between 800 Ghana cedis and 1,000 Ghana cedis a month, and for 2 years upfront. It felt like finding a pin in a haystack.
Almost 2 to 3 months, because the rent was so high, and then most of the landlords were demanding for 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. But my job, I can't pay for 2 years. For 1 year, cry is something.
So she stopped searching and started building a kiosk from scratch on a land she rented because it was her only option.
I decided to do it on my own. So excluding the land is almost 7,000. So when you add the land to it, 8,000 and above.
Even now, she pays monthly just to stay on the land her kiosk sits on at Medina.
I decided to rent a kiosk. So excluding the land is almost 7,000. So when you add the land to it, 800 and above, 8,000 and above, sorry. Oh, okay, trying to put the whole structure together. Yes, 8,000 and above. Where I was staying in a kiosk like this one, but I was renting it. Okay. So I decided to look for a normal building to stay in, but I searched and searched and searched. I couldn't get. So that's why I made up my mind. I'll still use the kiosk.
So would you say that rent in Ghana is very expensive?
Very expensive, very, very expensive.
The rent law makes it illegal for landlords to demand more than 6 months' rent in advance. Landlords who do so can be fined up to 500 penalty units, jailed for up to 2 years, or both. Yet in practice, many tenants are asked for 2 years, some even more. The law exists, but for most people, its protection is only on paper. Emilia used to teach. She left her job because the cost of transport from her new place swallowed her pay. Now she's hoping to return to school, but for now, the kiosk is all she can afford.
And then I have plans, so I have to rent the kiosk, use the kiosk for now, and then after some times I'll try and then move in another place.
Every day, more Ghanaians are being priced out of a place to lay their heads, not because they do not work hard, but because landlords are breaking the law and getting away with it. Until the law is enforced and rent demands reflect real wages, decent shelter will remain out of reach for Emilia and for thousands like her. Jacqueline Ansuma Yepwa for Joy News, Accra.
Well, you're still watching Joy News Prime with me, Carlos Galoni.
I'm Faustina Safa. We'll be back after this quick set. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. To other stories now.
Well, tension erupted at Kutunse Axle Load Station in Techiman South after a group believed to be linked to the NDC stormed the facility, accusing officials of corruption and sabotage. They claim a broken scale and illegal fees are being used to undermine President Mahama's government. Anas Sabit has more.
Here at the Kuntunsu Axle Load Control Station, what was a routine checkpoint just hours ago is now a scene of tense occupation. This group with known NDC affiliation led by a man known locally as Alhaji Commander stormed the station this morning, ejecting the official operators. They claim they are acting to expose corruption they say is deliberately tarnishing the image of the John Mahama-led administration.
Since the good 7 months now,
since the elections, we've monitored and noticed that they are cheating government in their activities. In the past, they used to charge 5,000 Ghana cedis as penalty, and now they charge up to 40,000 Ghana cedis just to tarnish the image of government. They won't allow that to happen. The group's leader, Baba Fatuma, told Joy News their investigations revealed two critical issues. The axle scale itself is malfunctioning and operators were charging drivers illegal unapproved fees. When we came, we noticed that some of the receipts they issued were fake. They took away the laptops and the scale. So we all want the best for the country. Strong claims from Alhaji Commander. Adding detail, group member Abiu Clement described how operators allegedly bypassed the broken scale to extort monies from drivers.
When we came, we saw that the axle load is not working. So we went and found the axle scale in the bush. So from the monitoring, we saw that the axle scale is in the bush, so we brought it back. And we asked them that, so why is it that the axle is not working? So how do you operate? But to what they were saying, it was just, they will just do the funding, then just take the money, and this one will take his own, then the cashier will also take their own. Meanwhile, it's not accepted that way.
We found Alhaji Abbas Suleiman, the Deputy Bono East National Security Coordinator, already on the ground to monitor the situation. He appealed to government to institute investigations into the claims of the group.
As a national security,
we are here to monitor the situation, and we are glad there isn't any violence here. But we are appealing to government to listen to the call of the group and then investigate the matter to its logical conclusion. The accused operators have been removed and are currently unavailable for comment. National Security acknowledges the gravity of the corruption claims while condemning the takeover. The critical question, however, is, will this illegal action force the swift, credible investigations the group is demanding, or will it simply escalate tensions across the area? Anna Sabit, Joy News, Techiman.
Concerned Small-Scale Miners Association says claims that he pleaded for mercy for illegal miners in the district forest are simply false. Michael Kojo-Pepra insists he only asked about a police operation, a question that got him arrested. Mr. Pepra is now on bail as police continue their investigations. My colleague Nanaya Ojima has more in the following report.
In a viral video, Mr. Pepra is seen in handcuffs, with reports indicating he intervened in activities of police anti-Galamsey task force, but he claims the reports are untrue. He says the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, in an earlier meeting with the miners, had authorized them to inquire of persons who undertake operations in the field.
While attending to scheduled meeting with gold buyers in Tepa Enclave. During this engagement, I received information that a group, including police officers, was allegedly engaged in burning of motorcycles belonging to local residents. Acting as a responsible leader, I approached the scene to inquire about the operations and to verify the affiliation of the task force involved. Contrary to the police claims, I did not obstruct any official duty or intervene on anybody's behalf. At the time I arrived, no individual had been arrested, making any claims of interference factual and baseless.
In the viral video, a police officer had claimed that some people in the community pointed to the president of the concerned Small-Scale Miners Association as the person behind the act. He vehemently refuted the claims, indicating he had only been to the area for the 2024 NDC campaign in mining communities.
So when I went there, I was interacting with the police person when he said, they've heard we've been there before. And I said, yes, we came there, and it's on the public notice. It came into the news. So if we had gone there to campaign and assure them that when we come, we will make sure we streamline their activity, that does not mean we are encouraging illegal mining. As a matter of fact, we went there to explain the manifesto of the NDC to the miners, which was led by Dr. Tony Obey. So if we had gone there to campaign, and for that matter, maybe they have seen us or they have seen our face or our presence there already, some of them are even they are part of our association.
Mr. Pepra has subsequently been released by the police on bail. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima, Kumasi.
Well, who gets the credit when economy turns the corner? In Parliament today, that question sparked a heated clash between the minority and the majority MPs as both sides laid claim to the recent economic gains. From inflation trends to the strength of the city, each party tried to take ownership or challenge the other's narrative. There's more in the following report.
Inflation is falling, the city is gaining strength, and in Parliament, the political battle over who takes the credit is heating up. Chairman of the Committee on Economic and Development, Eric Affle, said the current economic progress is a result of strategic decision made by the NDC.
The city has rebounded strongly against the major trading currencies, driven by a combination of factors, including the tight monetary stance, ongoing fiscal consolidation, record reserves accumulation, strict enforcement of foreign exchange rules, and improved market sentiment.
But that did not go unchallenged. In a sharp rebuttal, ranking member on the committee, Kojo Nkrumah, dismissed the claim as political spin, insisting the turnaround stems from the government-led intervention under the MPP.
It is a matter of fact that in the 6 months of this administration, it has not generated $1.4 billion in terms of new additions to our gross international reserves. The truth is that at the point of inheriting power, the previous administration had left over $8 billion of international reserves, part of which the new administration is drawn and dumped onto the market.
The debate intensified when inflation came up, with Energy Minister John Jinapor defending government's economic management as the driving force behind the stability.
Is it true that inflation has improved? It has improved. And so if you see prices going up, when they say inflation is low, it doesn't mean prices are coming down. It simply means that the rate at which prices are going up is slowed down. He didn't talk about disinflation. He didn't talk about deflation. He said inflation is lowering, and that is a fact.
Also weighing in was MPP MP and member of the Finance Committee, Dr. Kabiru Mahama, who believes the Bank of Ghana's injection is creating false hopes that are not sustainable.
When you inject Ghanaian cedi, when you inject dollar into the Ghanaian cedi, it creates a false sense that investors will think that your cedi is doing well. In actual case, it is not doing well. And the IMF has actually come to the country and they have mentioned that the Bank of Ghana must stop. And this House must encourage the Bank of Ghana to stop the measures of intervening and injecting hard currency into the economy.
The debate over the positive gains of the economy continues, with opposing sides trading credit. But beyond the politics, the real beneficiaries of the progress are the citizens and businesses who feel the impact in their daily lives.
Well, let's stay in Parliament. Minority Leader Alexander Feyomakin is facing backlash over remarks he made concerning John Mahama's ministerial nominations. Speaking on the floor of Parliament, he questioned why a Sikado Ketan MP, Dr. Grace Ayensu-Dankwa, was appointed over colleagues like Dr. Zenato Ajiman-Rawlings and other female MPs. Dr. Ayensu-Dankwa, who was present in the chamber and has been nominated as the Deputy Health Minister, strongly objected to the comments, labelling them as problematic and calling for them to be expunged from the official records.
Colleague, your name is not even here. We have heard it in the rumor mill that you are going to be facing the appointment committee. And this is what you want to be doing? Your name, when you came to meet Dr. Zanato here, and for the founder, the owner of the party, for some strange reason, it appears your name is coming, and you will not, even they've delayed in the names, you came to meet Helen in Toso.
No, leader.
Mr. Speaker.
Leader.
You came to meet Helen in Toso.
Leader.
And then you want to be writing on a point of order when your leader is on a
leader.
Mr. Speaker,
the angle you are going.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, she has to sit down.
As there's only 14% women in this House, Mr. Speaker, some of the statements he made are also going to be in the hazard. Mr. Speaker, I'm sitting here speaking on behalf of the women.
Honourable Professor, I've given you the floor. Contribute to the statement. That's what I...
But before I contribute to the statement, Mr. Speaker,
Professor,
I would like to very much have that part of the conversation, of the discussion expunged, because I was being attacked when I had not said a word. I was just standing up and waiting to catch your eye. Mr. Speaker, it makes it very difficult for the women. There's only 14% of us in this House. So when we stand up and we speak, and we are getting veiled threats and also passive-aggressive behaviors towards us, Mr. Speaker, it makes it very, very, very difficult for us women to speak. So, Mr. Speaker, I really respectfully want to put this on the record, that I was unprovoked. I did not provoke that comment, and I also feel that I'm offended by it because I did nothing.
Well, to some other stories, the Northern School of Business, SHS, is not just talking numbers anymore. They are solving equations, cracking science riddles, and dominating the NSMQ regional qualifiers. Known for producing business minds, Nobisco made a bold statement. The Northern Regional qualifiers are racking up 66 points to cruise past their challenges. Collins Frimpong has more in this report.
It was a charged atmosphere as hopeful students from across the region converged, each rooting for their school to make it to the national championship. Nobisco made an emphatic start. Despite being a business-focused institution, they dominated every round of their contest, finishing with a commanding 66 points. Their performance was nothing short of a statement. They mean business at this year's national championship.
It feels good, and also business school, people will look down upon you, but no, we are not small, please. We are not small.
This year we are coming with force, like a force of nature. We are unstoppable. We are like a tsunami or a tornado. If you cross our way, we will destroy you. So any school that is coming, they better pack and let us pass. Because this year, as I'm telling, a tornado. No one can stop it. You can only control. And the only way you can control is for you to step aside and let us move.
You know aura? You know aura? Do you know aura? Do you know aura? You don't know aura. Our aura is too much. This guy, where is Gideon? His name is Gideon Intelligence. I work at Intelligence, AI. And this guy's name is Hakim, Hi, Hakim Intelligence. Now, this is our school, Northern School of Business. Now, today, you see what we just did. We just give them a little finger, like, we just play with them. We just did them something small. But when we go there, see, Prempe or Pokuhari, whatever, like you mentioned they should come. They should come.
In another contest, St. Charles Minor Seminary SHS, a Catholic boys' school based in Tamale, also booked their place at the Nationals with 46 points. Contestants from the school were confident, insisting the competition they faced today wasn't tough enough.
It was too simple, yes. Just that there were some falls that we were not supposed to make by. But this is the will of the Father. So we are looking forward in the championship and the nationals as well.
Too simple. Is it that those schools that you competed with, they were not good enough?
Not to say, but they were not. Yes, because they could have won if they were good.
Since they didn't win, they are not good enough. They are not at your level.
Yes.
The contest was a very interesting contest. Actually, it was, like you said, it was very simple. But yeah, there were some few flaws that we shouldn't have made, but we made them.
I'm feeling supercalifragisticexpialidocious to express my enthusiasm in this jubilant manner.
The day wrapped up on a high with Tamale Islamic Science SHS, who secured 63 points. But interestingly, the contestants said they weren't entirely satisfied with the score.
Pleased with the marks, we are pleased with how the contest went. But just that was not what we were expecting. We were expecting to beat the marks that our predecessors made in 2023, which was 81 points. But what we had, we are grateful. We are grateful to Allah.
Meaning the qualifiers last 2 years, your school had 81 points?
Yes, that was our seniors. They had 81 points. Yes, and it was the highest that year. Yes.
But this time around, this one also ranks as one of the highest among the other schools, right from Upper West to Upper East till now. And shouldn't you be excited?
We are very excited.
The Northern Region qualifiers continue tomorrow with schools like Yendi SHS, Ghana SHS and Toulon SHS expected to compete. Reporting for Joy News, I am Collins Frimpong.
And it's time for Showbiz. Becky Beggs joins me in the studio. It's a great new week, Becky. Welcome.
Yes, it is. The weekend was Chelsea's weekend. We'll talk about that.
Thank you.
Those of you who are Chelsea fans, congratulations
what do you mean those
to
of
you.
We are the
Chelsea. You are?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Give
Okay,
us
that's
all
fine.
the fans we needed.
Congratulations to Chelsea. But before we talk
grateful.
about Thames' performance on that night, let's talk about Ghanaian filmmaker Sokwe Safo. He has expressed his willingness to support creatives serving in the current government despite being affiliated with the opposition New Patriotic Party. In an interview with art and culture journalist Kwame Dazi on Joy FM Showbiz A to Z, Safo said he is ready to offer ideas to help shape Ghana's creative sector regardless of the political administration in power.
You think the NDC appreciates the creatives? They are creatives more than the NPP.
I said
And you are jealous of them.
Yeah.
After saying that, have your people called you to have any conversation?
Not everybody understands it.
They don't understand what you said?
Not everybody. Some
Okay.
do, some don't. And in politics, there are people who are so
upbeat to the point that you don't have to say anything that sounds negative.
Okay.
Yeah. But for me, where we are, we need to come clean, say things as they are.
Okay.
Let's correct.
Would you love to join the NDC?
No. No, I am MP.
It is attractive now. They are appointing people to influential positions.
Oh yeah, there are people who are in NDC. I'm happy for them. Let them be there. Let them be there. Let's support them. I support them. I support. Look, I called Rex, and I said, why didn't he invite me for the Black Star experience? Because I want to help.
In what capacity?
Any way.
As a liaison,
ideas.
liaison officer?
No. With ideas. The NFA. How do you call it?
Kafui Danku.
I speak to Kafui.
Yeah.
What I'm telling you that I've told her, the challenges of the industry. Look, every
Uncle Sokwe Safo there. Now, let's talk about my own team. The whole Ghana, I think that I am the only, no, Sergio supports Tottenham Spurs, and myself, I am part of that team, and I'm very excited about this particular one. Very much. Let's talk about Chelsea and talk about Nigerian singer Thames. She made history as the first African artist to perform